Okay, guys, what is up? Today I'm going to talk about an in real life struggle that I do have, and my reality is very, very important to me. And I think while being a Jedi, Sentinel, in training, that'll be interesting to have that verbiage come out. Yeah, I've been undergoing a lot of transformation and been doing a lot of journeying and doing some studying, like getting my GED, which I finished high school. So I'm going back and redoing some of that stuff. And there's a lot of paradigms and things like self-doubt. And it's really hard because at a young age I was told that everything was wrong with me, that I wasn't really embraced for being me. I was told I had a brain imbalance. I was told I had things like bipolar and Tourette's. And because I was adopted in 2 years at age 2, spent a very, very early stage of my life, spent 2 years in an orphanage in a third world country, which can be scary, and you can have a lot of fear, and you start crying, and then you realize as a baby no one's going to be there, and you learn not to cry. And at such a young age I grew up learning that the world is scary, the world does not care. To me it felt like it was just darkness and I couldn't do anything. I'm only 2 years old. So when it came to being adopted, which I love my family, by the way, they adopted me. I'm just like, hey, I didn't bond with my parents immediately, so it came to doing like touch therapy and forcing me to go through this with the reward at the end, which was apple juice, by the way. The first time I was like, absolutely not. And I'm sharing this because it all has a reason, and I'm afraid how people are gonna see this because it was anyways. And so the first time I'm just like, I did not want to go through this tight space where I already felt trapped and claustrophobic and go through the birthing process, where then you're picked up by your mom and you do the hugging, and it's supposed to symbolize like when you first come out of the birth canal, or through the cervix or whatever. Then you bond by being held on your mother's bosom, and you get that. So it was interesting because they're like, yeah, you get apple juice at the end. And the second time I really wanted that apple juice. I didn't care a rat's butt about the process of what I had to do, but I really wanted the apple juice, so I did it. I was like, fine, if this is what I have to do, things that I don't want to get what I want, even if it means doing something I do not want, then so be it. And so I grew up at a very, very young age, having trouble, being afraid, not wanting to be at all around my mom. Also, she's an Aries. If any of you believe in horoscopes, I used to be pretty skeptical. Grew up in a Christian family, so we're told that energy is bad. Nobody has gifts of Reiki, which anyone can heal. We can always speak life into each other, right? Universal, do unto others or what you would do unto yourself. And every action is a double-edged sword. So if I'm going to be mean to someone and speak ill unto someone, or say, I don't like you, or, okay, sometimes that's true, but it may not always be the nice thing to say. Okay, that's a whole other topic for something different. But if you're going to say, you're annoying, or you're ugly, or you're fat, and I've been told that I was ugly and I'm fat, that I'm less than, kids, bullying, barely 8 years old. People called me Ishman because I have like dark mustache hair. Girls have it. It's just they're lucky because they have like blonde hair or brown hair, and so it doesn't always show. My hair is black, so you get that lip hair up above, and my legs are hairy. Want to see my legs? This is what it's like. I got man legs. I do not care. I rock the hair now, and I know the hairy legs. Now I'm just like, hey, hair is awesome. I get that armpit hair for Burning Man last year. I grew my hair out, and I was like, going back to the native roots. But people would always make fun of me for that. And the popular kids would always bully me and tell me what I'm doing when I didn't. This girl named Samantha used to just, to put her stuff in my room and say that I stole it. One time I caught her going into my room, and I was like, like, aha, like I caught you red-handed. Like, what are you doing in my room? Like, Sam. And so eventually, she got away with it. This girl, by the way, she was a great actress. She'd do really well because she could just cry on the spot. So when she held a fork to my face, and I'm just like, absolutely not, move the fork away from me, right? Because I'm a warrior. So when someone threatens me and is in my spatial zone, then I'm just like, get away, get that out of my face, and I just moved it, right? And I got in trouble because she said I was holding the fork to her. And I didn't. If I hold the fork to her, I'll be poking her eyeball out with it. Like if I had the fork in my hand, it's a little different. And that's a warrior thing. But I was like, get out of my face. You don't get to stand tall and bully me. And she starts crying. So, she would have been a great actress because that girl just had some issues that for some reason she just wanted to project them and make it look like I'm the bad guy. And, eventually I did start becoming what people said I was. And I'm just like, fine, well, if people think me as a thief, then whatever. I'll just go shopping in people's rooms and take stuff that does not belong to me. And then, I actually did start doing that's when I was 13, 14. I used to masturbate at age 5. This is super, super honest, super open. A lot of my parents don't even know this. And so, I learned to, as soon as you have that face, when you orgasm or come or whatever, I didn't really call it masturbating. I used to call it the feeling. And I do it during church too, because I was bored as fuck. And yeah, I'm naughty, but I could do it in such a discreet way that nobody even knows. And, the reason why I'm telling that is for a reason. I'm not trying to say, like, anyways. So I used to, steal things and be like, my mom was like, what did you do? When you have that face, like that face that I think we all get after just like, oh, that feels so damn good. And then you're like, hey, after, right? Or I don't know really how to describe it. But my mom would walk in right after that. And so I'm just like, oh man, like I don't even know what's going on right now, but I just felt like a lot of stress went out. And she'd be like, what did you do? And so I learned to do something because I never want my mom to know that at age 5, I was wet down under, you know? So it was better to think of her, have me think of I'm doing something wrong because even I didn't know what was fully going on. And yeah, it was interesting. So why? So that's the shame. That's we're told as a kid you're not supposed to have sex until you're married. You gotta. But we're told what not to do instead of how to actually be safe. I think we should bring sex education classes back into our schools, and really, if people are gonna do it, tell them how to be safe. You know, that's just my personal opinion, though. Actually teach kids how to balance checkbooks and how to do these real life, things that once you're 18, you start learning all these things instead of if you want to learn trigonometry and calculus, do that in college because that's more of a, specific you're going in life and so you need these certain skills, right? That's just my opinion though. And so I was, the very, very youngest told. I'm so full. Somewhat. I'm just so popular that someone had to tell me twice. I'm kidding. That's my friend. Uh, he's cool. It's actually my mentor. Where we had some time where we went down to do some lightsaber sparring at TSL, which that was 2 weeks ago now. I forget. That was fun. That was also when I was feeling like crap, and I had the cold, I had the flu, then I had the stomach bug. So that was 2 years of just not 2 years, but 2 months of me just feeling like absolute bleh. And so I'm starting to feel more chipper. I'm starting to come back out of it. I've been meditating and resting and did some activity here and there. But if I did too much, then it would set me back and I'm just like, oh, balance. And I'm just like, I am ready. I am rocking. I'm locked and loaded to go out into my world and start doing shit. But now, it just leaves time. it makes time for doing some work at home. And this is the fun stuff that I'm going to get about into. I have shame paradigms. I've been working through, some self-doubt, some old paradigms with relationships, and it's Valentine's Day, so I noticed that when I meditate, accepting that I was forced to do things as a kid that I didn't always resonate with. I mean, it's why, I'm never going to probably be able to feel like I'm a part of my family. It felt weird, actually. I was like, this feels weird, being with my family for Christmas. And I was, spent a lot of time and time out in my room. I was not always able to eat with everyone. So it's like, also eating something different, like a PB&J sandwich. I started to get used to those, which now I don't like peanut butter and jelly. Actually, it makes me sick. I actually have an allergic to peanut butter, but I like almond butter. And that's protein filled, and if I feel like eating a Custable, then I will. But really, it killed peanut butter and jelly sandwiches for me. And then it was mayonnaise and cheese and ham that I'm just like, yuck. And then it was bread with butter. And I'm born in that time where it's 1995, right? People spank their kids before. It's not just a 90s or 80s thing. It's, and heck, some people got, the belt or the branch or the ruler, or maybe there's something else in there that I'm missing. But I think it was so sadistic almost. A little bit of humor there. Ha ha ha, it's funny. The worst thing was going to pick your spoon, go pick your punishment, then you had to wait in the bathroom for mom or dad to walk in, and then they'd put you over their knee and spank you. So maybe that's why I don't like impact play. It's funny, guys. A little bit of humor for some I don't know what is seen as hurtful. My vision would go red. I'd get super pissed. And of course, because I'm in pain and I already feel like life is pretty unfair, and I felt like I had no voice, because then every single time I want to voice, just to voice, they're like, well, look what we did for you. You're ungrateful. And I'm just like, no, 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 no. That's not that I'm being ungrateful. I just want you to hear that I'm working through some stuff, and I want to repair this relationship with you, and I want to fix it. I want you to hear that I felt trapped. I want you to hear that it felt like you never embraced me, for myself. You took me out of everything that I wanted to do and told me I couldn't be me, while you encouraged my sister to go do that. To be the singer, to dance, to be the performing artist. Well, I was taken out of dance classes. And that really hurt my feelings, because that made me really happy. That was about the happiness I got. But then, no, Amy, you're being, you're being inappropriate. You're being ungrateful. Look what we did for you. We adopted your ass. You would have been cut and raped, and probably in Bulgaria. I don't know. But it felt like knives to my heart. I had writing scripts taken away from me. I couldn't be creative. I write movie scripts. I write books. Couldn't dance. Couldn't sing, was told. It's not very practical to want to sing and make a living off of it, when deep down I know that I am an upcoming artist. And because I have not given up on my dreams and I am coming out, working through all that shit too. Parents, really, they just want to make sure you're successful. And so at the same time, I'm working on my success on the side. But they often reenact things that they went through, and they really want you to be successful. So I get that. I know that a lot of the things my parents did, they probably never really realized. I don't even think they'll ever be able to fully realize what they did to me. And how, just some of their own paradigms. I mean, it's like an immediately frequency drop, and I'm just like, it feels like work. Because I have to mold myself to be with them when I believe in magic. I've opened myself up. I'm very, very spiritual. I'm very, very one and all in one, and everything is all connected, and there are so many different life lessons, and not just spiritual paths, but ways of living. I couldn't do martial arts. I wanted to do martial arts. I wanted to, do figure skating, and I'm doing martial arts now, and I'm doing figure skating. I never actually got that genuine heart to heart and I felt like I was a mistake. I felt like I was the daughter they never wanted, but because they said they'd never let me go, so then they hold their word on that. And they always treated me and put me in bubble wrap, so after it was going on meds, that really fucked with my body. Like, I felt like shit on some of those. There's this one med that, teenager, that I would collapse. Like, my muscles would just randomly collapse, and I'd cry because I don't understand what is going on, and I get all shaky, right? And I'd try to get up, and I'd start panicking because I couldn't get up. I'd have to sit there for a little bit and take some deep breaths and then get up. Like, it was at unexpected times too. There's meds that would make me feel super sleepy. I felt like they were trying to compress me. And, years down the road, they just said, no, none of that really lined up. So I'm just like, oh, so you're saying that you let people stick needles in me. You let people poke me and hurt me and poke the bear, right? But when you get a reaction, they'd muzzle the bear almost. You get in trouble for saying, ow, that hurts. Not even swiping at someone, it's ow. So at a young age, I just grew numb, and I kept all my emotions inside. And there are times where I rage at my family. I rage at life in general. There's times where lately I've been working through past stuff of, I'm afraid of being trapped. I'm afraid of being forced to do things that I don't want to do. And in my reality, those paradigms are being, and those memories, I'm having to go to mutual observer or hug myself and be like, okay, so right now you're just having a momentarily experience where you and the force are working through something, and in reality, I'm getting to do everything that I need to do, that I genuinely, authentically want to do. And I have to hug myself. I have a wolf that, it's a little wolf puppet. There's something, about stuffed animals that are just comforting to me. And I have affirmations about myself. And sometimes I just need to be silent and be the observer of what's going on. And then when that comes in too, once you start observing, then now I know what's happening, and then I love. I allow myself to experience it, which sometimes I don't. I have a primal response that'll be like, no, go away, right? So when that starts coming out, when I'm being like, what the heck? Like, why am I having this primal? Like, I don't want to face that. Like, it hurt. Like, absolutely not. And it's like, but you have to. I think it takes a lot for me, at least personally, to have to go and feel like I made so much process that now I'm going to feel like I'm slipping back. Which, again, it's more of a feeling and it's not the actual reality. It comes in, I choose to love, I accept, and then I let it go. There's a saying that in Jedi that everything is temporary. Thoughts, emotions, people. Even I'm temporary. Someday I'm gonna die. Someday people that in my life will shift and other ones will come in, and these new experiences, and the way I see the Force has changed from dogmatic Jedi Sith to something gray, and then the cosmic starry skies, where there is no heaven or hell, there is no dark or light, there just is this cosmic universe out there that it felt weird once I let go of all that. I'm just like, like, what's changed, right? Then I start feeling unconfident or self-doubt and be like, I don't know what is happening. I don't know what I just went through. I feel like part of me has changed, which it does. You start learning things, you start discovering truths, and you're just like, whoa, I see things differently. And it's so much more, it's freeing. You let go of a lot of stuff and your energy feels lighter. Then after a little bit, more lessons come in. We never stop learning, but to learn to feel good and enjoy the downtime and be like, hey, you just learned something. Like, this is why, because it's new. Because sometimes when it's peaceful, it's hard for me to be like, well, there's no action. So what's going on? Am I getting anywhere? When it's just a break in between and allowing myself to relax and self-doubt, anxiety, fear, I'm into the unknown where I'm just like continuously having to remind myself and believe in myself. That's my struggle. It's such a killer when you don't believe in yourself. And because then you feel like you're here, but then some part of you is just wilty and it doesn't feel good. I'm so, I think, open and sensitive to the force as a whole, where some of the people's stuff will kind of come onto me. So then I have to constantly be aware of that and exercise the lesson of, okay, is this internal? Is this external? The more I get to know myself, the more I'm just like, nope, that's not mine. That's somebody else's. So I don't allow that to, it's like I have to move around it, right? I'd be like, no. Sometimes it's not being like a no, like pushing it away. You just have to sidestep almost, right? Because I'm not the only person in here working through stuff. And everything I see is a collective. We all are this force or the universe or chi energy or whatever you want to call it. Um, just a few different names out there. And to realize that, you'll be plugging into something much greater, and this is only my tapestry, but it's a bigger part of something. And so um, when I'm amidst lots of trials and changes and lessons and experiencing things, I may not always want to, but choosing to do that, there's a lot of self-doubt. There's a lot of, am I a really good person? There's always a thought of, I am very, very kind. I'm not perfect, right? Because I'm human. I'm not always kind. But I'm very, very, I'm this light. And I know that and I see that. And I feel and I know with all my heart that I'm a person who has struggles, but that it doesn't make me bad. It just, I'm a good person. Some people enter the Jedi stuff because they want to be a good person. And I think you constantly are improving on yourself. And it was interesting because I had these thoughts. I have to be so kind and caring and giving because I don't feel like I'm a good person. And I'm just like, whoa, like where's all this coming from? And so sometimes I come into contact with other people's energy as well as dealing with my own self-doubt. So I'm just like, yeah, it spirals. But I do give a lot. I do a lot of things for a lot of people, and I'm actually starting to, work a lot on me and choose myself because while choosing myself, sometimes I give out a little bit too much, and people will take that. But it's kind of interesting because I feel like I'm being selfish, which I know I'm not. But again, self-doubt. You start having those what ifs, you know that it's that paradigm or pattern, or that hey, like are you doing the right thing? And then you have to believe in yourself and be like, nope, I am not going to sink into that. Now you can start learning to control and navigate and consciously choose how you're going to be every day. And the past few days, wake up, I immediately have anxiety that just courses my body, and that means there's a lot of stuff to work through, right? Or maybe I need to say, okay, I'll let you go. I had already done this. And so sometimes you have to use your personal authority, which it's super interesting. I'm just started. I'm really just starting all this. I'm starting to grasp how to wield myself as well as getting to know myself. And while getting to know yourself, if I have to do something, then I'll be like, I work through this later, but I will get that done. And it's like really interesting. The mind is very fascinating. the mind and the emotional state can really affect the body. And your body is your vessel that you go do things with or don't do things with. And they're all tied together, and the body can become a physical manifestation of the inner stuff, which that can be painful sometimes. It's super painful. May I add? You just want to cry. So those are some of the struggles. Kind of what I'm working through. I'm still working through. I'm, working on passing my GED, and I have the goal, which I will not announce that goal until after I achieve that goal, because it's still in the works. So yeah. And it's been interesting finding a balance of work and play. And you continuously have to work hard at things. I just started, learning to do fractions, and I thought I was an idiot. I haven't done school in a long time, and I finished like 10th and a half grade, like 10th and a half, So I was close to 11th grade, and I chose not to finish, and chose to leave that school and then go to a different one because it was it was out of state, and I chose to then later go finish high school. But people were so mean to me again, and bullies, that I left. And so, I'm almost 25, and I still, last year I was studying for my GED, and it doesn't, there's a certain thing that staring at the computer and reflexing, I think I have to remember a couple of different things for math because it's not always my strongest suit. But even staring at the English comprehension, the way they have it, it just seems like bogus. It's just a bunch of words all piled, and none of it really makes sense. It's like the government, I feel like, is trying to purposefully be annoying instead of actually write something in direct context, I think, that you can actually grasp and answer the questions. Which today I'm working on an ESL language that I just started that a couple minutes ago, and like I'm doing a AccuPlacer test, which I don't know, I was curious. And it's like, hey, like I actually know this. Like, these are just words, right? For example, blank, been to the amazing new art museum, question mark. There's have you, are you, when you, if you. And you probably pick have you, which we will see and check the answer and see if that's right or not. And that's correct. And, I'm just like, hey, well, okay, that makes sense. And I'm not a complete idiot. And I speak English. People always make fun of my typing because I tend to journal. And I know that English was actually one of my top classes. I was really good at that. Again, I like to write books. I like to make scripts. So English was one of those things where I would be a walking and talking dictionary. Idiot moment. Oh man, I used to read books I used to read all the time. I used to just write down words. I used to spell. I enjoyed where you had to go do these races to find the dictionary. You have to flip through, find the word before anyone else does. And I was good at that. It was something I really liked and prided myself in. How to articulate, how to talk, how to speak is part of, the diplomacy and the consular, and how to speak to many different people too, which many, how to speak to different kinds of people and formulate a language that works for the individual that they can grasp. I get a little tongue-tied with it because I'm thinking about it too much. But people, I'd be thinking about and journaling when my mind was racing, and all my thoughts would be like all at once. And there's, oh, Diana, meow, hi. So the people at Oots and Jedi community, would always be like, I can't understand you. And I'm just like, douche. I'm still saying the same thing. Like, you douche nozzles. Some of them are douches. Which I will say, not all Jedi are kind or Sith, and that's just, the world. And some of them actually deserve to be called a douche nozzle. I think I'm also just super blunt. And, those were the people who made fun of me. Those are the people who said, I can't understand you. Some of those people are troll energy. So there's a lot of dress up Jedi. There's a lot of dress up Sith. And I think it's very, very annoying about how I think a lot of Jedi get away with bullying people because Jedi are like, going to speak up against it. They're like, ew, you're speaking out against someone when everybody knows that person is an asshole. This is why I'm a Sentinel. I really, really like it. This is why I learn many different things, and it's the best path there is. Go Sentinels! No, I'm kidding. Really, Consular, Sentinel, Guardian, whatever you feel called to, is cool. But Sentinel, you get to do a lot of different things. So there are times when I will be more Guardian, which is more like an energy thing. There are times where I will teach someone, which again, those are consular moments where I will advise, I will heal, I will. Funny. Oh man, there's my Jedi Master again. He's actually Sentinel trainer person. He's actually the biggest asshole there is, by the way. He's quite good at it. But secretly underneath, guys, he has a heart. He just doesn't want you to tell people. I'm kidding. He doesn't have a heart. What are you talking about? That's me just being an asshole and being snarky. It's Snipsy. I'm being Snipsy. He calls me Snips. But anyways, the only reason he feels, not just feels, he looks like an asshole is because he's trying to be like, prepare you for stuff that I think the things that he teaches are so realistic that I definitely will feel ready for anything that comes my way. So, I already did. I got Snipsy a long time ago. Didn't you get the memo? Batman. I think that was Batman. Yes, that was with he. Didn't you get the memo? He takes there's no. Okay, he's in a lot of movies. I think it's Morgan Freeman. No, I think it's another guy that's like Morgan Freeman. He's in The Office, and it's like something about, didn't you get the memo? I have to go remember what movie that is. I will always quote movies. But anyways, back on topic to today's daily podcast of self-doubt is a killer. It stems from some of these things. And overcoming them and continuously working through, Batman. Okay. Yeah, man, he got so many cool gadgets too. And it's all a continuous, I think, self-trial and challenge of overcoming your self-doubt and realizing that anyone can do anything if you put your mind to it. You may feel stupid sometimes. I may feel stupid. I may feel broken. I may feel like it really hurt that those labels were slapped on me. It really hurt that even I think people talk down to me. They use hand gestures, and I'm just like, I'm not an idiot, but okay, thanks. I can do this too. Like, Meryl. I'm being a little silly there. And I definitely started to play it really well. I learned to do hand gestures. I learned to be the stupid daughter that they thought I was. But, now I just get to work through all that and really show people
and people will see. And I think always just believe in yourself, and when in doubt, look within. The answer that I always seek if I'm questioning about where to go in life, working on my GED, I'm working on this goal, I'm working on fitness, where do I see myself going? I'm getting my whole life ahead because a continuous goal of wanting to incorporate new things in my life. And if I want to be an actress, then finding places that I can find community again and start. I think finding community and getting into acting again would be fun. I mean, I was a theater nerd, so at the boarding school, I ended up joining the chorus and doing the theater, and that was cool. I got bullied a lot. I was only 9, which I already said that, but I think it's also because I got a lead role. Like, I was barely a freshman, right? And I got a supporting lead role, so it's like one of the mains. Because there's in Bye Bye Birdie, I was Mama Yurley, which there's Timoon and this other guy, and it's about a love story that is kind of not really realistically meant to be. And I think it's a fun musical. You have to go watch it. It's fun. Um, and the people also made fun of me too because I got paired with one of the popular kids, and so who was Tonton Julian. And another time I was Helen from Bye Bye Birdie, and sorry, not Bye Bye Birdie. Yeah. What am I saying? Hey, Once on This Island and Bye Bye Birdie. Blah. And Kim and this rock star. The telephone song was one of my favorite numbers and I had to learn to throw my voice out there. I was like, oof, I feel like I'm screeching, but it's not. It's more just how to sing, but like throw your voice out there because it was weird. Uh, but it taught me a lot. It was like one of my favorite numbers, and choreography too was fun. And fun fact, the Jedi mind trick. People hear about the Jedi mind trick all the time. And I'm a psychic medium. So what that means is I'm from Bulgaria. Naturally there's a lot of people over there who are into divination, which means tarot cards, oracle readings, doing the crystal balls, doing psychic readings, which is looking at the person's energy and being able to see. And that's why I'm always really able to connect with a lot of people because I'm I'm an empath. So people will talk to me about a lot of different things. And that's just one of the pluses about being a psychic medium, and is being able to do psychic readings. And I realized lately that I can do Akashic readings, that I really don't need my tarot cards. I really think the tarot part is just for show. And one time I ended up doing a psychic reading on someone, and they were like all the way in Florida, and they said I did everything right, and that was really cool because I was able to see what they're feeling, give them a reading, getting a feel, have them get a feel for me. And she wants a couple card pulls, so I was like, sweet, that I can do. Which that's like channeling from the ancestors and from the other realms out there, advice or wisdom. An oracle card is a little bit different than a tarot card. Tarot is like, you look at the picture, it speaks to you. I think it's more straightforward. Oracle is like a phrase and a saying, and then more like you're guiding them instead of actually answering like a yes or no, or will you get money or when. It's more about how do you go getting money and when. Follow your gut instinct or something. Like, I don't know, they're a little different. Each oracle deck is different, and it's like a way for you to challenge physical mediumship of some of the communication, which that's super fun, by the way. I haven't done that in a while. I'll actually be picking that up again, and creating a Patreon account, which I'll be doing live readings, having some some inspirational quotes up there and doing some, articles and, soon I want to start doing giveaways and, do like a sage bonus stick, or, I'm actually going to learn how to make some sage sticks, which you can find those on YouTube. You can find that anywhere. How to do sage, how to do home cooking shows. Because when we cook, our energy, our force goes into what we make, and how to almost have it be self-ritualistic and self-healing and regenerative, and put our intent into what we do, with our food and what we fuel ourselves with. And I'm gonna start doing some videos and doing a review on different products too. I really absolutely love Young Living essential oils, by the way. Out of the many essential oils out there at Young Living, I used to be an individual sales representative for them, so I'm kind of biased naturally, but I like what they do. They're super, I almost say anal, which is good, about what the product that they're putting out, and I always feel very happy with what I get, and it's so pure that I really appreciate that. They have this thieves cleaning oil that, so you have like to put water in it. It's a concentrate, and I started to clean it, and my place just had this energy, and it was natural. There's no chemicals. It's all essential cleaner oil that somehow you can also degrease stuff. Like I had some stuff that the 409 could never get off, and I just sprayed it and then let it sit for a couple of seconds or minutes, depending on how and bad it was. And it gets off a lot of degreasing. And in your shower, like I use that in my shower, and my shower is clean. And Vlad can be like, yeah, man, like your place looked great after. I ended up doing a deep clean before he ended up coming down, which, again, my Sentinel trainer, that felt really good to have my place clean. When I'm having people over, just like, my place has to be clean. When it's not, I'm just like, oh, sorry. Then I'll get my ass to cleaning it. Currently, I'm going to start doing that sometime soon. And I'm currently working on a few other goals that I have, which there'll be more giveaways for, people and chances to come out and meet me or have me fly to you and have some certain things happen. Including like musicianships and I do like a lot of, there's going to be so much out there for all different kinds of people. And so, yeah, I want to have this one giveaway that for a musician, I'll just share, just sneak peek about some of the stuff I'm going to be doing over time. I don't have a timeline yet. There's still a lot of stuff for me, but we'll be doing a workshop in sound healing and flying someone over to come over for the weekend and write songs. And then we also get to go to a recording studio and they can get some studio time with me, which that would be cool. And then they'll get to go back home with a CD or with a demo or which is like a shortened version of your song. Which, yeah, that's still kind of in the works. But it's going to be super, super fun. Yay! And there'll be like other times with coaching 101 and coaching sessions with me and free readings of to a certain number, and where they're usually at 50 just for my time is very, very, I'm starting to know my value, and that means a lot. And I do like 15 for a card pull. Depending on the type of reading, the price goes up or down. And if people want a half-hour session, then there's like a certain fee, and then it kind of just depends. I'm getting the hang of this stuff. But then I also, make jewelry. So we'll have tons of fun giveaways that, have Reiki infused or manifestation, or it's gonna be super rad. This is just a teaser, a sneak peek of some of the awesome stuff that I'm going to be doing. Another one is going to include Star Wars and making our own Jedi film or Sith film of awesomeness. which then you can take home and go show all your friends and be like, heck yeah. Gonna start making fan films, and they'll be posted on my YouTube. And so yeah, oh yeah, it's gonna be awesome. Yeah. Okay, but enough teasers. I kind of gave out more than I wanted to, but there's always going to be much more. And through finding my own inspiration and learning to believe in myself, it's going to impact other people, and I can see myself. I know that I'm going to inspire people, and do a lot of fun things that inspire confidence. And people always told me I couldn't do things, and now I'm starting to do things. Not that yet, but writing songs and having people say, "Man, like you are really, really good. Like you can go somewhere like with this." And to have someone say that, and multiple people say that, and also be like, "You got to work on this," or something, and know that they mean it. Like, cause I'm like, the friends that I ask, they have to mean it, when they say that. And if they have anything that they know that needs to be worked on, then they tell me. And it's super cool because I'm starting to find my worth, and I'm starting to know just how good and just how powerful I am. Which, back to the Jedi mind trick. The Jedi mind trick is not really using the Force, it's more of you connecting with someone, which, being psychic medium, some other people know it as telepathy, which is the ability to import as well as export, to be able to put in as well as receive. And there are so many ways you can do the Jedi mind trick. It doesn't always have to be through via mental link, which the mind is messing with other people's minds. There are people who will just go around psychically attacking people, and I'm just like, seriously, like fuck you, sometimes internally we'll be like, no, my words are up. And they usually are. There's sometimes where you just have that challenge where the Force is just like, I'm going to attack you hard today, Padawan, and we're going to see what happens. And it's like, oh, one time I failed. I kind of like lost my cool, and I got super mad, and then I freaked out, and then it was an interesting day. It was also a rough day. Then I said, darn it, I failed. Can I try again? Like, of course. Then the second time, you start getting the hang of it. And there are some people that are like super, super relentless. And it's almost like, you'll feel them kind of going at your head. Like, I don't really know how to explain that force-wise. I mean, I'm talking about probably talking to some muggles on here. I have no idea how people are actually going to view this. Because you talk about telepathy and it being real to a certain extent. And really, it's just the ability to import and export. You have people using it actually to a certain extent in your military. They have these mind reader, these headsets that we start controlling drones and start playing with technology and almost inserting our will into them, which is done through setup that reads your brain activity. It's very, very fascinating. I kind of want to see one of those too. It would be really cool. And I actually want to make these meditation machines that when you start relaxing and getting into that state, it'll start to interact with you. And I think it would be very, very cool for awareness and further growth. Oh, hello. The Jedi mind trick is the ability to almost talk to someone through suggestion to the subconscious. It's not actually going into the conscious, because someone's going to notice that. And one time I was messing around with that, and I was like, what happens if I talk to the subconscious? And because someone was taking forever to get some stuff done, so I was like, you should go call and get this result, and then send it to me. She said my name. And it was funny because immediately right after, it's like I could feel them, and they're like, oh yeah, okay. And I think it's a skill that very, very few people have. A lot of people will say they have it, but there's only, I think, a certain amount of people that genuinely, authentically have it. And anyone has the ability to start to train themselves and open themselves up to it. It's a lot of learning how to ground yourself, meditation. I kind of have it naturally, but to ground yourself and do a lot of meditation and then learn what is external versus what is internal, because you'll pick up on a lot of things. And that's almost like, it feels like a curse and a gift at the same time. Sometimes I feel like because I'm so force sensitive that I'm strong, like I can do things to a certain extent. I almost feel like a freak sometimes, It's kind of like X-Men. Teach me how to have superpowers. And I don't have superpowers, right? But I do have gifts, the ability to read people, the ability to connect with people. People will sometimes come to me and dump all their stuff on me, and I'm just like, whoa, I was not expecting that. And that's sometimes the downfall to empathy. People will just start, and it's like, whoa, no, excuse me, not here to deal with that. Sometimes you have to actually stop people and be like, I didn't really sign up for that. I'm not here to. Sometimes I'm just like, well, hating this person for just dumping it on me. But there's part of me that wants to, be respectful and hear them out, because probably very few people actually end up listening to them. So when there's like a confliction of, should I or should I not? It's kind of the hero. You start wanting to help people, and then you're just like, on the inside, we'll be like, yeah, that sucks, man. Like, then you give them advice, and then you walk away, and you're just like, exhausted afterwards. And you're just like, fuck this. Absolutely not. So there's times where I'm just like, scat. And there's times where I'm just like, okay. Which learning how to make boundaries, and again, be selfish. It's not really being selfish. People are going to view it as being selfish. Well, you're being selfless because you're choosing the self. There's just the struggles of, should I or should I not? I think as the sentinel, the sentinel that I am, hero, who ends up, I end up spending more time helping people than I do really actually, doing a lot of things for myself, which it's a balance there. But it's like sometimes it's like stuff that I used to struggle with, and I always wonder that I'm not giving out enough, or whether I'm being, it's interesting. That's some of these struggles that I used to feel, and at times when I'm choosing myself and believing and be like, hey, self-doubt, so keep believing that whatever I'm doing right now, by not wanting to be out in my world and just be inward for now, I'm doing some much needed rest and much needed processing and studying for my GED, on these goals, and, working on music, doing what I love. And I have some studio time, set up soon, that is going to be really fun to start releasing some songs and having them out there, going from what I feel invisible to visible. But oftentimes we can just have these inner struggles that you start working through them, you start reaping the rewards maybe. Nothing is ever easy. Nothing is ever easy. And the past is not the present, nor is it the future. And if people can't embrace you for who you are, and I feel like I was Prince Zuko, just wanting people to approve of me, so doing things that I never approved of, doing things that I never wanted to. That's not love. That's people wanting to see a certain aesthetic. And this is why I think I also get a lot of flack. I'm the lone warrior because I go against the grains of society. I'm literally defying gravity and actual gravity. I wish though. I wish we could float. That'd be super awesome if you could have levitation. I don't think I have levitation. I haven't levitated, so, Plus, the way this gravity on this planet is, I haven't met anyone who can actually authentically levitate. But that'd be interesting. I'm open to the force showing me someone who can levitate. A little bit of humor there, guys. There's a reality to things. Realizing that we can't fly. Perhaps in our dreams, maybe. You can fly in an airplane. That's flying. You can free fall from the sky, and you can do parachuting and paragliding and all that fun stuff, right? So that's the reality of flying. Unfortunately, we don't have wings. We can't just fly. We can't flap our arms and magically fly. I wish. That would be so Peter Panish and so cool. But nope. But always choosing to believe in yourself and then find affirmations and speak life into yourself. This is the year where a lot of the choices that we make are going to shape the next 25 years. A lot of the things that you think of, a lot of your dreams that you want, really work and continue to go after them because they're going to start happening. It's the year where everything is going to be super awesome for the next 25 years. I don't know what happens after that, but you will just see. But all right, guys, this ends today's podcast. It's not a podcast. Vlog, whatever. And may the force be with you always.